Welcome back into the channel, guys. As always, it is I, Paladevin, and yes, we have something great to show you, baby. The official release of Dino Crisis 1 and yes, Dino Crisis 2 on Steam. Now, okay. All right, there was a great day going on for video games as far as like the state of play, a lot of great announcements and things like that. This wasn't even a part of that. This was a shadow drop. And man, in a lot of ways, and in my opinion, because it's one of my all-time favorite video games, this drop stole the show. Now, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're running straight off of your PC and you're running Windows and everything, this is gonna act like a GOG release. In fact, it's the GOG versions of this game. But if you're trying to get it running on the deck, there's a little bit more that kind of goes into it. So before we dive over to deck specs, because we all know, come on, this is a PS1 game. Chances are likely the deck's gonna throw it around, right? I do want to talk in a little bit more detail about kind of what it took to make sure that this game was running, and somebody has put up a great review on it. So if you need a little bit of a walkthrough, if you're a little noobish like me and you're still learning the landscape on the Steam Deck, there are a lot of buzzwords such as, you know, making sure you have the latest version of Proton installed, but also the Proton Tricks application so that you can run reg edits. Yes, I am well aware that I might have scared off a lot of you guys, but it's a relatively, once you've kind of got an idea on what's going on, it's a pretty straightforward process. Now, I do say this about Dino Crisis 1 largely because that's the one I got running. I'm actually still getting error messages with Dino Crisis 2. And again, this isn't happening over on the Windows side. So I do think that this does have something to do with that included DRM. Now, as I mentioned before, and I'm not gonna dive too far into it, these games are available on GOG, so if you are looking for the DRM-free variants of these games, you can get them there as an alternative. Not a sponsor, not any of that. I just figured I would throw that in there because I do know a lot of people have their concerns, let's say, with DRM. But yes, making sure you can actually run the registry file of Dino Crisis 1, as well as making sure you've got the right launch options and everything, are going to be paramount in getting this game right here running on the Steam Deck. So that's kind of a buyer beware a little bit, gang. There's a lot to it. If you're trying to get things going, it doesn't just launch right out of the box the way that it might on your Windows PC. So keep that kind of stuff in mind. Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna head over to the beanbag chair, we're gonna grab some footage, and we're gonna talk over those lovely, lovely deck stats. So let's head on over. All right, guys, a little bit of housekeeping before we get things going here. We do need to make sure that a few things are set in Dino Crisis. First and foremost, we do need to have compatibility with the latest version of Proton and to force the use of a specific compatibility tool. Everything else, though, in general is going to stay the same. I didn't really mess with any of these, but if we make our way back up to general, we are going to need to set up a launch option, and that's wine DLL overrides equals ddraw.dll equals n comma b percent command percent. Now from there, we're actually going to switch over to desktop mode because there is something we need to run within desktop mode. So we'll make the switch over there really quick. It does take a moment, of course, but once desktop mode is booted up, we're actually going to be hunting something down. This may not be installed on Steam, but it's an easy install, and that is Proton Tricks. It's basically a wrapper. It's going to help us run the registry file. So once we have Proton Tricks open, we see all our games. Let's, of course, hit Dino Crisis and press OK. Now this does take a little bit, as you're seeing firsthand. This is all loading in real time. So, you know, it's going to take a moment. If you got a soda handy, you know, it's not going to take so long that you're going to be here for a century. Now, once we're here, though, we want to select the default wine prefix. And once that's highlighted, go ahead and press OK. And we're looking for run reg edit. So we want to highlight that bad boy and press OK as well. Now, of course, once this pulls up, there's going to be a lot of scary in here. We want to go up to the top to registry and import registry file. Now, from here, obviously, we want to find where Dino Crisis is installed, and we want this file here, dc1.reg. Open this baby up. And now, it's just going to kind of let you know, hey, this was added to the registry. Now we can press OK, and we're going to be heading on over back to big picture mode. So we can just kind of close this out. And what is that at? All right. Oh, my God. Oh, God, it's right there. Back to big picture mode. All right. Now with all the housekeeping out of the way. Now we get to focus on just awesome gameplay, which you get to enjoy while I get to yammer a little bit. As I mentioned a little bit before, obviously, as you saw the walkthrough, you got to get Proton running, the Proton tricks. You got to make sure you've got the latest Proton compatibility tool. So there's some nuance here to getting this thing running on the Steam Deck. I didn't have this experience with Windows. This was very like plug in and go. And honestly, like it worked with one of my 8BitDo controllers, but was a little sketchy with the other. Maybe that's a control style thing I need to figure out. We'll see down the line. But the game itself is running really well. Now, there are a few things I do want to kind of address while we're kind of looking over gameplay and performance before we get over to the deck stats. Now, this surprisingly, even though you get to select your language, whether it be Japanese or English, all of the passcodes are still from the non-US version of the game. All right, 0426. Okay, so I misspoke previously. No worries. If you launch the arrange game, you get to keep all the passwords we've known for a long time. There you have it. Now, the good news is, as you're seeing, whether we're playing straight from the deck, whether it be in handheld mode or for this footage, I made sure to use a controller so you guys kind of got an idea of just kind of how everything looks on the deck itself, or using your dock to go ahead and just play straight from the TVs. We got some footage of that as well. It's a nice fluid experience throughout, honestly, and it should be. So why don't we just get right on over to it? I know there was a lot here because I wanted to make sure you guys had a general idea on how to get this game going, but let's move on over now to those beautiful deck stats. All right, guys, here they are, and I told you right out of the gate, the Steam Deck was gonna throw Dino Crisis around. Whether you emulate this game or whether you're playing it on Steam or GOG or however you're playing it, oh, the hardware's definitely there. There's not going to be a problem at all. So within the launcher settings, I did go ahead and enable things like VSync, just to kind of preserve the frame rate. I haven't messed with that unlocked. Who knows? Maybe it'll kick that lovely 60 frames per second. We'll see. But yeah, as far as like CPU usage, GPU usage, it's all low. Everything is pretty much maxed out. I've maxed out filtering and just about everything you could do. The only thing I haven't done on the Steam Deck is I did just go ahead and set the resolution to 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hertz instead of kicking it up to like 1440 or 4K. But judging by how much GPU usage is kind of bouncing around, we could probably get away with this sucker at 4K, just kind of overall, you know, it's not super pressing, and that is nice. No joke, because Dino Crisis is, well, it's like any of those PS1 era Resident Evil-esque style games. You want it to be tight. You don't want the frame rate drop in or anything super stiff or anything like that. You want it to perform well. Now, I am going to take this opportunity while you're kind of looking over the deck stats to remind anyone, if you are launching this game for the first time, make sure to hop into your controller settings, because the controller configuration is pretty weird in this game. Whether you're using a normal controller or the deck pad, things like the start button are mapped to like quick turn, but then you can click down on the right stick to pause the game. So just as a little bit of kind of a heads up so you don't get jumped like Regina just did, make sure to map your controllers, test everything, whether you're on Operation Wipeout testing it or just out at the very beginning before you start your run. One other little variable I've mentioned in other instances with this game, the passcodes and such. I spoke about it earlier. The passcodes are from the Japanese version of the game, so sadly, all of us who have memorized, you know, Mark Doyle's 58104 or the base safe code 0426 a million times over, we got to relearn a little bit, but it's not that bad because majority of the puzzles, as I mentioned, they're the same. So it's just going to be kind of a fresh perspective on Dino Crisis, and hey, that's a good thing, guys. So there are your deck stats. Let's move on. All right, guys, with the deck stats out of the way, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I really do hope you guys enjoyed kind of breaking down the footage and just the general awesome that is Dino Crisis being available on Steam. Yes, there's some things like DRM and such that are gonna cause us trouble. Not every launch can be perfect, and man, did I have to do some serious troubleshooting and education to get this running on our go-to mobile platform. But hey, it is 100% worth it, in my opinion, to have one of the absolute best video games in the world running on the Steam Deck. And hopefully now, we'll be seeing Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 Classic, those same GOG variants like these, available in the near future. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I hope you did have a good time with this one. I know it was pretty informative. Let me know if you're having trouble getting things running. Let me know if you got past this invalid error with Dino Crisis 2 as well, because I'm gonna be troubleshooting that quite a bit, and here's hoping that I can get that running. Good news is Dino Crisis 2 is running on the rig out there just fine, so we definitely have a way to play it no matter what. As I said though, we'll leave this one here. Remember to like, subscribe, tag that bell for notifications, and make sure that you stay up to date with all things Steam Deck and any of the other shenanigans we get up to over here along the way. Have a good one.